Are we masters of our own fate, or are we just travelers, wandering through a completely bizarre, deeply existential realm? Welcome to the start of our journey. We're dropping straight into a strange world where the very fabric of reality is totally up for grabs. I mean, do you pull the strings of your life, or are you just playing out some pre-written script? Well, today we're unraveling the fascinating lore behind an incredibly cryptic text. So, welcome to this explainer of the existential dialogues of the solitary and strange. We are journeying across a realm where five mysterious, almost mythical beings are just waiting to drop some absolutely profound lore about existence itself. Each character we're going to meet represents a totally different, extreme perspective on biology, luck, free will, and the cosmos. It's time to step into the unknown. Let's meet our first encounter. Encounter number 1, the monk's 1,000-year solitude. So the monk puts it incredibly plainly. He says, "Through my 1,000-year-long steadfast solitude, I developed abilities beyond the norm." And what's really interesting here is exactly how he frames this isolation. He doesn't view 1,000 years alone as a punishment or some kind of tragedy. No, he treats it like a secret training technique. By completely removing himself from the norms and social constructs of the world, stuff he calls the shallow highlights of society, he has unlocked biological potential that honestly shouldn't even be possible. I mean, this isolation leads to some absolute god-tier power scaling. Because of this extreme regimen, the monk claims he can jump as high as fleas, go without oxygen like deep-sea loriciferans, and run as fast as cheetahs. But here's the crucial point, and it's a pretty dark truth. Despite all these insane physical abilities, he admits to a profound melancholic cost. Venturing outside, or honestly even just existing with this unfulfilled social need, feels like a miniature black hole creeping up and devouring him, bit by bit. His physical power is absolute, for sure, but his existential void is literally consuming him. Encounter number 2, plucking eyes for pure imagination. The human mage states it with this dark, intense calm. "I just plucked my eyes out, what else?" To achieve what he believed was the literal next level of consciousness, he first disabled his nociceptors, his body's pain receptors, and then literally removed his own eyes, isolating himself in an existential tank. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would anyone do this? Well, the mage hypothesized that human sight is actually a trap. He calls it a visual anchor. He argued that sight floods the brain with so much heavy data and baggage that it literally anchors your mind to the physical room you're sitting in. It actively prevents true, unbridled fantasy. His ultimate goal? Pure imagination. He firmly believed that without the visual sense, his focus would become free-floating, totally unchained from biological input, and that would allow him to create entirely novel thoughts. But man, here is the tragic twist of his character arc. Despite blinding himself and floating in a sensory deprivation tank, he didn't unlock pure imagination. Not at all. Instead, his brain just continually replayed his past. Even without eyes, he was completely trapped by the artificiality of his own biological brain. He realized that his thoughts might just be entirely deterministic, inevitable rehashings of old data that just cannot be swayed. He sacrificed his sight only to discover he was a prisoner of his own neural wiring. Encounter number 3, the fractal calculus of luck. The cat approaches with this mischievous, almost arrogant tone, asking, "Would you like to know the measure of luck?" What's super fascinating here is how the cat just totally dismisses the theories of other creatures, like the idea that species communicate through protein breakdowns, as mere psychotic neurosis. The cat actually believes it has access to a furry core of knowledge that can objectively measure something we usually think of as pure magic, or just total chaos. Luck. So how exactly does an animated dimensional cat measure luck? By grounding it in real-world statistics, of course. The cat proposes applying a minute double-blind study to objective reality. Instead of just assuming luck is a feeling, the cat treats it as a measurable, inherent quality of the universe that can be rigidly tested. It's essentially setting the stage to literally test the universe's RNG, its random number generator. The cat's actual training regimen for this test goes a little something like this. Step 1, perform a random action. Step 2, record the binary result. Was it good or bad? Step 3, repeat this for a statistically sensible sample size. But Step 4 is where it gets terrifying. You aren't just looking for a 50-50 split, you are analyzing for compounding negative fractals. The cat argues that if you get a highly skewed string of terrible outcomes, it's not just chance, it's an exponential compounding of negativity. It implies there is an objective existential quality to terrible luck. Encounter number 4, the spider's web of fate. The spider delivers this incredibly chilling realization. It asks, when does the past ever not determine the present? It's a profound challenge to us, really. We all like to reckon that we're making our own choices, right? Sitting at the intersection of the organic and the inorganic. But the spider, using its metaphorical third eye, observes that the idea of free will might just be the ultimate imaginative trick spun by the universe itself. To prove its point, the spider breaks down human psychology into 2 core concepts. A locus of control is that healthy belief that you have a hand in how events turn out. On the flip side, delusions of reference is a psychiatric condition where you falsely believe random external events are directly connected to you. And the spider's creepy observation is this: they are just 2 sides of the exact same deterministic coin. Both are merely illusions your brain creates to make you feel like external events are mysteriously connected to your own personal agency. This brings us right to the illusion of action. The spider launches its ultimate attack on free will. I mean, how can you claim to control reality when your gaze is literally being hijacked by convenient hits of dopamine? Plus, the spider points out that our biochemical states are constantly being invisibly altered by organisms and parasites. We are basically puppets to microscopic biology and chemical action potentials way beyond our direct handling. Our future, the spider argues, is just a universal, deterministic inevitability. Encounter number 5, dark matter and existential magic. With booming, almost godlike reverence, the skeleton mage reveals his ultimate truth. Mind taps into a kind of existential source. Within it lies an everlasting void. You can feel it within you, can you not? This magic is directly tied to dark matter. It's an invisible, largely incomprehensible substance that is not just out there floating in deep space, but fundamentally pervasive across everything. And this brings us to a massive, mind-bending existential question. Does dark matter have a mind or consciousness? The skeleton mage acts as the bridge here, connecting subjective psychological feelings with objective universal physics. He implies that the void we feel inside us might literally be our biological connection to the physical dark matter that makes up the universe. To really understand the sheer scale of this, just consider universal expansion. It's the observable fact that all galaxies are being pushed away from each other by this invisible force. The skeleton mage draws his power from this exact phenomenon. He proves that dark matter isn't just passive. It is an active, overwhelmingly powerful force pervading the very heart of all existence, actively pushing everything apart. He then compares our biology directly to the cosmos. If you look closely at the machinations of the heart, the pumping, the fluids, just the squalid rawness of it, it can induce disgust. But compare that to dark matter. The skeleton mage warns that if a human mind were to truly perceive dark matter in all its distinction, it would reveal a reality so totally unbearable it would instantly break the local mind. It is a reality that living beings who perceive physics as an external object simply cannot handle. So, traveler, we arrive at the end of our anthology, and the skeleton mage leaves us with this classic, completely ambiguous anime cliffhanger. Now that you have witnessed the miniature black holes of solitude, the deterministic trap of the biological brain, the brutal mathematics of luck, the invisible strings of fate, and the literal mind-breaking reality of dark matter, what do? The universe just keeps turning. Will you pretend to ignore the fundamental contradictory reality you just witnessed? Or will you just go along with the tide of inevitable experiential necessities, making choices from moment to moment, as if you ever really had a choice at all? Exquisite, isn't it? Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I truly hope this journey leaves you questioning the very nature of your own reality.